All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. And this is the brother Pt1 from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And I want to come with a lesson titled Charity If You Want to Be in the Chariots. And it just made me do a lot of reflecting on myself first and foremost, and just what is required from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. The fact, he put this in the mouth of his prophets as far as a virtue or attribute to have. It is important because going out teaching, prophesying, breaking the scriptures down, understanding accurately, edifying. If you can do all of that but not have charity, in the eyes of the Lord, you're nothing. So, and just to add, like the video today, it was a brother who got pulled, a fucking low life Edomite pulled out a gun on this brother while he was prophesying. And the Lord, delivered him. The Lord had mercy upon him and protected him in that situation. And I'm just using this as an example to tie into my lesson. So imagine, that great act the Lord had and did sent his angels to, help this brother out. Control the narrative to show mercy, right? All of that, those great acts and the way the Lord came through with, if you don't have charity in your spirit, you're nothing. Just showing you like examples you could reflect from the past. Like, man, the Lord came through. Man, the Lord did this and that. But at the end of the day, if you don't have charity, you're not getting on a chariot, or you're not finna be one of the Lord's elect. That's the focus of this lesson. So, everything is going on. It's a lot going on around this earth. We're in the times of Jacob's trouble at the door. And we're at the end of this thing. And a key focus is to remain with charity, locked in our spirits, Lord willing. So I just want to get a few precepts. And, I pray this lesson be edifying to the Lord's elect. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 7. It says, and just to, whenever I brought out that example with the brother, I wasn't, throwing that on him. I'm just speaking in general. If that happens to any of us, like just thinking about the things that the Lord brings us through from the past. At the end of the day, if you don't have brotherly love, agape, charity, the Lord does not consider you as one of his elect. Okay? And we got scriptures to back it up. But real quick, let's start up here. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 7. It says, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High and not of us. And I wanted to get that real quick because due to us having this truth, due to us having comfort in such a oppressive, horrific captivity, man, the Lord still gave us a gift that is considered to be a treasure, which is this truth, which is a valuable, something to hold on to, right? And understanding we get this truth from the Heavenly Father, just this is his will. You can't do nothing to obtain it, and you can't do nothing to lose it if you are one of his elect that are going to be sealed. It shows you this is in the hands of the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. But with that being said, there are certain things that the Lord requires with this treasure that we got. A part of this treasure that we got is charity. So let's get into it real quick. 1 Corinthians 13 and 1. It says, though I speak with the tongue of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. So even if you're able to go out and speak and preach and break these scriptures down, right? In the brother speaking Hebrew, the tongue of angels, right? And have not charity, you're nothing. Everything you say, everything you speak, in the eyes of the Lord is nothing, because you lack something very important that's necessary to have. You know, this is a must. Brotherly love. It says, continuing on. Real quick, let me just look up that word charity. So I keep saying it. Let me go to the blue letter. Hold on. 1 Corinthians 13 and 1 for that word charity. In the blue letter, it's G26, and it says agape. It says love, affection, or benevolence. Real quick, hold on. Benevolence means the quality of being well-meaning, kindness. All right, it says a feast. You know, you sit down with those who you actually, deal with. You're not just supposed to, you don't just sit down with everybody. You don't just feast with everybody, okay? You sit amongst those with like-minded spirits. And the Lord leads us and brings us around those like-minded spirits. So whenever, it comes to charity, it should be a fucking no-brainer. Okay? Those that you feast with, why would you not be affectionate or show benevolence to? Speaking to myself first and foremost. To, dear, love, affection, goodwill, brotherly love. Brotherly love. I just want to see what it says on Google. I'm looking up brotherly love. It says, it's just showing a bunch of different shit. Okay, here it goes on dictionary.com. Brotherly love, it says feelings of feelings of humanity and compassion toward one's fellow human, but in this context of these scriptures, towards your brother. And who is your brother? Your fellow Israelite. More specifically, those of the household of faith. In Sirach, it tells you, know who you do good unto. Okay? This ain't just for any and everybody, man. Because that's the thing. Learning how to apply this wisdom. It would be a fucking dumb ass foolish decision to have this mindset towards any and everybody that's a human on this earth. No way. Edomites, Moabites, Ammonites, Hamites, Ishmaelites, so on and so forth, even wicked ass Jake, they are not in on this. And that's really what it is. But man, Yahweh Shai even told us in the scriptures, this truth ain't for everybody. Everybody don't apply this to their spirit. That's how you know Jake full of shit whenever they try to speak words like this and these virtues, but they don't show them or apply them. When a nigga got to tell you how charitable they're gonna be and, puffing themselves up. If a nigga has to tell you that, for instance, they are a fucking nigga, man. Jake will supplant your ass. But we, the Wadi Yahweh Shemel Shah, we know how to deal with the worldly people. Because we know these scriptures. The Lord gave us the insight on the truth, which will be a lamp unto our path in this world, man. Hey, throughout every reincarnation. Now we fully understand this thing. I can tell you in the book of Peter, hey, we got the 100% truth, pretty much. And if we apply it, we'll see the benefit from it. And charity is a part of that. All right. So it says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. You're just saying things that, in the sight of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, it'll just be noise making that you're doing. And that's what we focus on, accepting our sacrifices. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah is the one to, to deliver us. All right. So it says, verse 2, and though I have the gift of prophecy and understanding all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. So again, with all of these, mighty works, all of these mighty works to have, but without charity is for nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. That word profiteth. Advantage, better, prevail, to benefit, to assist, to be useful, or advantage us, to profit. So without that, it's non-profitable. You will not see anything in return. The Lord does not, the Lord does not acknowledge it. All of your works without charity is not acknowledged by the Lord, man. And real quick, if you keep reading, it'll give you attributes. It'll give you insight on certain acts, that display charity. But I want to read this at the end. Jumping down to the bottom. It's 1 Corinthians 13 and 13. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. So showing you, that's how important charity is. This is a must have if you want to enter into them chariots. Lord willing, man, real quick. Well, I'm thinking about Matthew, the 25th chapter. That's it. That was on my spirit. I just want to get it quick while it was hot. So Lord willing, until the next time I say shalom.